Hi everyone, today we have a new video review, and as you can see, this time we are going to talk about fresh release from Zvezda, and it's quite interesting set because it's a 1/48 scale I-16, so it's a new tooled plastic in a popular scale. And what I have here is the final shape of this release. It was purchased with your help, and now we have a chance to check it together. So first of all, as you can see, that's the version type 5, so I guess there will be other versions coming later as well in the same scale. Obviously, maybe 1/72nd scale will come next year, but today we are talking about this kit, which is numbered as 4832, and you can see on the box art that this is the closed canopy version. So the overall packaging, I would say it's typical for such release from Zvezda. So here is comparison with my hand. We have quite nice box art, and here on the side you'll find some information about the kit. So we have 225 parts, which is rather impressive for a 1/48 scale aircraft, and consider that the length of this model will be only 12.5 centimeters, so not such a huge build, and it might be interesting for modelers who wanted to try 1/48 but they don't have enough space on their shelves. And here you can also see the decals map, let's say, and also the paints chart in Zvezda and Tamiya numbers. On the opposite side you'll find some other kits from the same brand. I reviewed some of them, so in case you are interested you can find them on YouTube channel as well. And here on the rear side we have some information about the real aircraft as well as the photos of the assembled model. And what is interesting is that we have also the photos of the let's say pure plastic without the paint, which is quite nice because it gives you an idea how everything gets together. And as usual, box is sealed with the tape, so that's why I'm going to cut through with a knife. This color printed sleeve is not what is holding parts inside. As you can see, we have this cardboard box, which is actually more useful for this purpose, and I just need to open it right now. So straight on the top we have the clear parts, and frankly speaking I'm not sure where they will go, so I will show them in a second. Just give me a moment. Because here in the separate Ziploc bag we had the tiny decal sheet. As you can see here we have some interesting nose art, I guess, and also we have two types of the canopy. So they're supplied on this clear spruce. So here is the first one. I will try to focus the camera. Now you should be able to see what I'm talking about. So that's the canopy part, and these parts I guess they will go into the landing gear wheel wells, but we will see as well. And here you can see another one for the open cockpit version, but the question is whether this part will be used, because here we are dealing with the closed canopy version, not with the open one, so maybe it's just for the sake of some extra parts. All other parts are packed into a sealed plastic bag, so I'm going to open them right now. Just give me a moment. And I would say this packaging style is traditional for Zvezda, so nothing surprising. And usually they have plenty of space available in the box, so it's also not a problem to get the parts intact. In my experience, I did not receive the Zvezda kits in a damaged condition due to the tight packaging, so this is good. And okay, so we start with the sprue A, and here you can see what we are actually getting. I guess we need to zoom out first so that you can see what we are talking about here. So overall quality and the parts design is I would say standard for I-16. What is interesting is that we have the cockpit walls molded separately, so they will be inserted into the fuselage, and also the fuselage, note that it is molded together with the tail fin, but the cowling will be assembled separately. Here we have some panels. We also get the wing mechanization and also more of the parts for the cockpit supplied here. For the external features on the fuselage, if I zoom in, as you can see we have recessed panel lines, so for this scale I think it looks great. And here you can take a closer look at the cockpit panels as well, which are also quite nice because we have a lot of pre-molded features. So for some modelers this should be more than enough, because basically you get all of these handles and various controls already in plastic. And here you can check these parts from the opposite side, so we have quite clever guiding elements here. and the cockpit walls will be basically inserted into them, and this will give a bit more convincing look. Here you can also take a look from the opposite side onto the landing gear covers, and of course all of those parts which are separated into two halves, they have the guiding elements, so do not worry, it should be easy to combine them together. I don't think you'll have any problems here as well. Next we have, I would say it's more of interconnection between the sprues, so that's why I will show this one first, because it will be easier to zoom into it. So here you can see the lower section of the wing, and also some minor parts for the interior. And the next thing is a bit more interesting, because here we get the engine parts, and as far as you can see, Zvezda decided not to skip on the engine details. So as you can see, these engine blocks will be assembled together, and the only thing is how to show it in the finished state, because as you know, the coding on I-16 is quite tricky and it basically hides the whole engine. So maybe there will be a version with the open coding panels, or you will have to come up with the possible solution. Another interesting thing is the pilot, which is assembled out of several parts. And this is something what some of you were asking why other brands are not included. Well, at least here you get the seated pilot figurine, and it might be handy for some diorama ideas, or maybe just for showing the size of this aircraft, because, well, assembled model sometimes is not that clear in terms of understanding the size of the real thing. Next, we continue with the last gray plastic sprue. So here I will zoom out again. We have the top wing halves, and as far as you can see, these are two different versions. We have the frontal cowling section molded as a single piece part, which is good, and again it is supplied in two versions, as you can notice. And the same can be said about these cockpit parts, because I guess this depends on whether you are picking the open or closed canopy option. And landing gear wheels look okay, but maybe some resin replacement will give you a bit more features if you would like to, but I think it's not necessary upgrade here, because that's not such a noticeable part. And I would say so for the engine, but as you remember, engine is included, so that's why you don't have to bother. And next we continue with the decals. So decals are printed like this, and as you can see, the printing quality is really good. We have the red stars, we also have some Spanish Air Forces as far as you can see. And I'm just checking, yeah, here we have the instrument panel, but I do not see the seat belts. So I guess the seat belts will have to be copied with something from aftermarket. So that's already your decision how you will do this. And next we have also the color printed insert for the marking option. Here we have I would say somewhat unusual change from what is coming in Zvezda kits before. So here, as you can see, we have more than two marking options. This is the first one, the second one, the third one, and here's the fourth one. And let's check what is on the rear. So we continue with more markings here. It's the fifth marking option, the sixth, the seventh, and also the eighth. So 8 marking options in one kit. This is rather impressive, and I think it will definitely give you a range of the choices to make what you would like to copy in your build. But in my opinion, this is definitely a good thing to have out of the box. And next, another useful thing is assembly manual, obviously. So this one is printed already as a black and white brochure. We have short history note here. We have also assembly options, and what is interesting that we can open the coding as far as you can see. So yes, the engine will be visible, and this is quite cool because you can actually show the engine, add some more features in terms of the wiring, and this will be a rather impressive assembly out of the box in 1/48 scale. But here on the next page you will find the parts map. Then we continue with the assembly manual and instructions on how to use the clear parts. So they are used for the main wheel wells, as you can see. So I just need to check as well. There are differences on the marking option you will pick. So definitely pay attention to which one you will need in your marking option depiction. And next we continue with the internal fuselage options. We assemble the firewall with the engine mounts, and then I guess on the next page we will be building the cockpit floor. Then we also assemble some of the equipment behind the pilot seat. We install the cockpit walls, and you can also install the pilot itself if you would like to. Obviously, it's assembly option. Next, we continue with the wings. Again, the wing choice will depend on the marking option you pick. Here you can see the instrument panel installation, and then we also assemble the fuel tank, and it's quite interesting that it's glued out of several panels. Here we have the engine assembly. So again, engine is quite generously detailed out of the box. As you can see, there are some detailed painting instructions, so it might be also worth getting some wiring PE, or maybe copying with your own tools, because it will be visible if you open the cowling. And next we install the cowling panels. So I can see that landing gear can be assembled in close position as well. This is quite cool change too, because you can copy aircraft in flight position. And here we have also two assembly options for the propeller. Obviously the aircraft stand is not included, you will have to buy it separately, but you can also choose the underwing rockets too. And here we have the stenciling guide for the aircraft. So quite a package, I would say, and for such a price it should be around 20 euros. I think it's definitely a great choice if you would like to pick this aircraft, because you get a lot of things out of the box, and there is a good potential for some additional improvements if you would like to. And of course I will be happy to hear your opinion, so if you have something to say, do not forget to write it here in the comment section below, and I will see you in the next video review as usual. Thank you for joining me today, and bye.